If I lost all of my LinkedIn followers tomorrow, my brand was non-existent, and I had to build it all back from scratch, this is exactly what I would do. Now, before I start doing anything, this would be my mindset coming into it. I'm going on LinkedIn to win customers the first 30 to 60 days I'm there, or at minimum booking qualified meetings with potential customers. I'm not waiting 6 to 12 months before my brand builds before I start creating opportunities. Now, what I'm talking about here is the short-term strategy on LinkedIn. Most people don't even know about this. They just think, oh, you got to post content. That's it. There's a whole other strategy where you can start booking meetings within a couple of weeks of being on the platform. And so that's definitely what I would do as part of my strategy to rebuild from zero. And I'm going to cover that more in depth here in a second. But just as importantly, and actually more importantly in the long run, I'm going to be building my brand. Yes, I'm going to be putting out quality content in the LinkedIn feed that brings awareness to the problem that I solve for my customers, that makes it solvable for them because I'm giving them the strategies, tactics, and techniques. By doing that, I'm positioning myself as the go-to company in my space. I'm building brand, and I'm generating consistent inbound leads on a weekly basis, just like I do today. So I'll be covering that side of the strategy too, because of course, if I'm starting with zero, you better believe I'm going to be creating content and building my brand. I just believe in mixing these two together. Let's do some short-term stuff that can guarantee us some short-term wins as we build the long-term brand with content. So if you're at zero right now, or maybe you're just coming over to LinkedIn, or maybe you've got a little bit of a presence there, but you don't feel like you're really making traction or generating real revenue and customers from the platform, I'm going to walk you through the 4-step strategy and the exact same thing that I would do if I started from zero today. So let's go through the 4 steps. Step number 1, before I jump on the LinkedIn platform, I want to understand the LinkedIn platform, the people there, the culture, the algorithm. And I'm not saying you need to spend a ton of time here, but most people just jump on a platform and they just start posting content, assuming it's like the platform they came from, and it's not. And that's what I see with people coming from TikTok to LinkedIn or Instagram to LinkedIn. They assume isn't it just like the other platform I'm on? No, it's not. It's completely different. I mean, there's certainly similarities, but there's things that make it wildly different that if you knew, you could then capitalize on those opportunities. You would tweak and adjust things so that your content performs better. And let me just give you the breakdown on all of these. First of all, there's 58 million companies on LinkedIn. It is the B2B hub. It's the largest business community on planet Earth. I always compare it to, and I did a whole video on this, where I compare it LinkedIn to an in-person conference or event. Go check out that video when you're done with this, because that'll provide even more context and detail on some of this. But if you think about what's going on with some of the other social media platforms and the fact that there's really no other business community in terms of social media that is really geared towards businesses, entrepreneurs, people that want to grow, there's not really another platform that's made for that. And that's why we're starting to see more celebrities, more big personal brands, more and more businesses, more and more of your customers getting on LinkedIn. They are flocking to this platform because there's so much opportunity. In the mindset, to go to the people real quick, the people on the platform are amazing. Now, I'm not saying of course there's bad apples on any platform or with any community, but the audience on LinkedIn is a completely different audience than on any other social media platform. When someone opens up Facebook or Instagram or even TikTok, their mindset is much, much different than it is when it's LinkedIn. They may be trying to catch up with friends, be entertained, just kill some time, find something interesting, whatever it is. And on LinkedIn, most people are there to actually learn. Now, they definitely want to be edutained and entertained as well, but there's a real business mentality that people bring when they log onto the platform, and people wanting to have those unlock moments where they learn something they didn't know before. They've also got a buying mentality because, again, 58 million companies, there's a lot of buyers on the platform. There's a lot of decision makers on the platform. Now, in terms of the algorithm, which is really just people judging your content, it's a social graph as of now versus an interest-based graph. So the LinkedIn algorithm is different than other social media platforms as well. So TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, those are interest graphs, which means in the matter of seconds, they're analyzing what do you consume? What are you watching on? What is keeping you on the platform? And then they use that to figure out, okay, this person's interested in these things. It's not just one thing. Usually it's a few different things. And then they're going to continue to feed you more of that content. They don't care who it's from. They just, hey, let's get more high performing content from that particular interest. And that's why it's so addicting on some of these platforms where it's 10 minutes have gone by and you're like, what the hell am I doing? LinkedIn's different, where it's a social graph where it's based on content too, but they're also basing it on things like who you're connected to, who's following you, what content have you engaged with, or have they engaged with your content? Who have you messaged on the platform? All of these different things come together because they're trying to socially kind of connect this community. Content is very important on that platform, but they also want it to feel Like, yeah, you're at that in-person event, right? Where you're seeing people that you know, that you've connected with, that you've engaged with. So once I have a basic understanding of that, I'm moving right on to step number 2, which is turning my basic LinkedIn profile into a client attracting machine. Now, if I'm truly starting from zero, I'm just going to update the things that matter most first. I can always tweak other things later. So here are the things that matter most on your LinkedIn profile. This is the difference between someone landing on your profile and bouncing off versus landing on your profile and booking a call with you or going to your website or consuming more content. First thing I want to do is I want to make sure my messaging is very clear. And I'm talking about your headline, your banner, and your about section. And it's funny because you just use common sense. Speak to your customers about the things that they care about. Don't talk about you and your company and we've been around, I've been in this industry, I've done this work for so many years. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Speak directly to your customers about their pain points, about their desires, and about the results that you get for them. That simple. Another important section that I would look at right away is paths to conversions. And I'm really talking about 2 key areas here. At the top of your LinkedIn profile, there's a section where you can add in a URL. It could be a landing page, could be a website, and then you can customize what that says. So for example, mine says services and pricing here. Now, when people book calls with me, I ask, how did you get to my website? How did you get to booking a call with me? And many of them have mentioned, this is the link that does it. So I know it's important. Always ask your buyers, how did you come to me? What was the journey like? Because you're going to learn more on what content works and how to set up your different profiles. And what I mean by path to conversion is just how do you want to convert somebody? Where do you want them to go next? And typically there's a couple different ways, right? For someone that's not ready to buy, in my featured content section, we've got our content library there. A lot of our customers try to do content first before they end up buying from us. So I want to be that resource for them. I want to build trust and credibility by giving them all the stuff that they could do it themselves with, knowing that when they don't get the results or they're frustrated or they've been at it for a period of time and it just doesn't work, or they want the shortcut to success, they're going to come to me. So make sure that top link is set up and then load up that featured content section, potentially with a link to your website, a link to a content library or another content channel. I also believe in putting customer testimonial videos there. So if they're looking for that social proof, they can find it, which leads me to the next section, social proof and recommendations. Definitely do put some of that in the featured content section, but also scroll down to the recommendation section. If I could just get a couple of customers recommending me there just to build up some credibility. Again, I'm not trying to fix everything because I'm starting from zero, but if I could get a couple in there the first week I'm on LinkedIn starting from zero, I definitely would do that. Step number 3, this is exactly where I would go next. As soon as I updated the profile, I'd go right into this. So I'm probably 1 day in at this point. Remember that short-term strategy that I talked about? This is that. This is how you book meetings on LinkedIn the first 30 to 60 days you're on the platform. It's called the Core 4 strategy. Search, engage, connect, message, video message. So what I mean by search is just finding your potential customers. Again, LinkedIn is a social graph, right? So we want to be engaging with other people that are potential customers of ours. We want to be training the algorithm to show us more of those people. And when we start posting content, we want our content to be seen by them. So I need to search for the customers. Where are they? They're not going to magically end up in my feed. Sometimes they will, but definitely not right away. So I'm going to use Sales Navigator, which is a product of LinkedIn. Now you don't have to use this. You technically can search just on regular LinkedIn, but the search features on Sales Navigator on LinkedIn are insane. And I think Sales Navigator is like $99 a month. Well worth it if you know how to use it. You go to Sales Navigator, you start searching for potential customers. You connect with 100 people per week. It takes 15 minutes if you've got the right workflow. There's no automation here. There's no spamming here. None of that crap. I'm doing everything personalized, doing it the right way. Now I can drill down that search by job titles, industries. I can even go to companies and drill down by revenue, by company headcount, by if they're hiring or not. There's so many good filters that you can use there. And here's something really important. I'm going to drill down by people that have posted content on LinkedIn. They are actively posting content. That is an actual filter, because what I want to do next when I go from search to engage is I want to start engaging with their content. I'm going to start warming up some conversations. That'll start training the LinkedIn algorithm, but it also allows me to build some rapport and a little bit of a relationship with a potential customer, so that when I go to connect with them, they now know who I am and I've got some context. I can reference their post or something I saw of them or something in their profile. And then once they accept my connection request, at that point, I will send the most powerful tool in social selling, which is LinkedIn video DMs. It's in the form of a video, which almost nobody is getting on that platform. They're getting spammed with text messages and AI-based stuff. Getting a personalized video message is very refreshing, and that's why it converts so well. That's how I'm booking meetings in the first 30 to 60 days I'm on the platform. Now, keep in mind with LinkedIn too, as I mentioned, it's a social graph, right? So you can't jump on LinkedIn and just start posting content or updating your profile and think everyone's going to come to you or your content's going to perform. We're going to get to content here in a second. You got to be actively engaging, not just responding to your own comments, but jumping in with other creators, engaging with their content. Because yeah, you want to be learning about the platform. You want to know what works and what doesn't work. So by engaging with other people's content, you're going to start to figure that out. But you'll also be pulling people into your feed so that when you do start posting, you get more traction. traction. And finally, step number 4, I'm implementing my content strategy. Now, all 4 of these steps are happening within 24 to 48 hours. So I'm not dragging this thing out and making this some big long thing. I'm just saying what I would do first. I would understand what is LinkedIn. How do I maximize my opportunity there? I do a quick update on my profile so I attract clients when they land there. I'd start the core 4 strategy right away, and then I'd start putting out content. So what kind of content should you be posting on LinkedIn? I don't care what anyone says. Some of the highest performing content on LinkedIn right now is picture post with a compelling story. And if you want to drive real business results and revenue from it, that story should have something to do with your business. And I don't mean promoting your business, but I mean, you're talking about some of the pain points or desires of potential customers. Could be sharing a customer success story. I had one picture post with a customer success story where it was me and him in a picture. It wasn't even anything super nicely done. It booked me 4 meetings. 3 of them turned into customers. If you're going to do pictures of yourself, personal journey stories work best, where maybe you talk about where you started to where you are now. You talk about some of the real stuff, the failures, the authenticity, let that stuff shine. But again, you got to find a way to tie it back into your overall content strategy and your business goals. Otherwise, you're just trying to get attention to get attention. And how much would I be posting on LinkedIn? I'd be posting 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. That's pretty much what I do now anyways. I'd also be leveraging videos. It's very underrated still. Most people still aren't using enough video on LinkedIn, and it's such a brand builder. If you're on LinkedIn and you're only posting text or picture post, you're very surface level with your audience. As soon as you make the jump to video, you're now going extremely deep with your audience. They now get a sense for your personality. You're connecting with them at a more of an emotional level. They feel like they know you. When I get on calls with people, I post so much video content, they go, I feel like I know you. So the amount of trust and credibility and likability that you can build with video is always going to outweigh text and picture post only. But I would leverage both of these. So I'd probably post 1 picture post a week, maybe 2, a text post to get in there because I'd want to learn how copy works, what performs, what doesn't. And then I'd post probably 3 or 4 videos a week. Now, if you're wondering what types of videos I would post, they'd typically be around 1 minute for the most part. Maybe it's 45 seconds, maybe it's 1.5, 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, probably the most. And it's mostly educational videos, but the videos that perform best on LinkedIn are when you're unlocking something for your audience. You've brought to their attention a problem that they didn't even know they had. You've brought to them a unique solution that they didn't even know existed. And you better believe I'm going to insert some edutainment in there, educational message mixed with entertainment. That stuff works extremely well on LinkedIn, and I would argue it's some of the highest performing content on the platform. I'm going vertical videos, 9x16 for the most part, because I want to take those same videos, most of them, and I want to potentially get them on TikTok or Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts. So I'm maximizing my content efforts. So those 4 steps right there are exactly what I would do right this second if I started over from 0 on LinkedIn. And I know you have questions right now, so if you do, please drop them in the comments. I'll go in there and answer them, but I also use questions and comments and thoughts to create other videos from that. I appreciate you being here. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next video, and we'll see you around.